Good morning, students. Good morning to all. On last day, we have studied about the balance of payment disequilibrium and the types of balance of payment disequilibrium. And at last, we have studied the causes for balance of payment disequilibrium. So today also, just we will remind what we have studied on last day, and we will go to the new concepts. Yesterday, we have studied the causes for balance of payment disequilibrium. So just we will remind, so what are the causes are there for arising the balance of payment disequilibrium. So first one of the causes is cyclical fluctuations. The cyclical disequilibrium in different countries is caused by their cyclical fluctuations, their basis and magnitude. So all the nations will have and will face the trade cycles, basis of trade cycles. So we have studied already the different type of the basis of trade cycles are there. So the depressions and recovery and boom and depressions. So when the two countries are being in the different type of the basis of trade cycles, and in different countries also will have the different magnitude in the trade cycles. Suppose when India are being in the boom depressions, it will never earning more income than other countries, and some other countries also can able to earning more income when they are being in the boom situations. So not only that, now which one countries are being in boom situations and the another one of the trade countries are being in the depressions base, so it will never come to the equilibrium of balance of payment. So these cyclical fluctuations always will be the reasons of the balance of payment disequilibrium. The world trade shrinks during depressions while trade flourishes during prosperities. So throughout the world, all the nations are being as a same basis. So the different nations will be in the different bases. So it will also one of the reasons for the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next is structural changes. The structural disequilibrium is caused by the structural changes brought by huge development and investment programs in the developing economies. So normally the developing economies always spend more income to develop their structural arrangement. So such economies may have high propensity to import for want of capital for rapid industrializations, while export may not be boosted up the extent. So when they are spending more their income to arranging the structural changes, it cannot be able to boost up to the export. So it will be in the situation of import. So the structural changes also will be as one of the reasons to arising the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, development expenditures. The development disequilibrium is caused by rapid economic development, which results in income and price effects. So income and the price effect will bring some of the development disequilibrium. So there is more price in one country and the income also is increased, or the income also is not increased means, so the balance of payment price disequilibrium will be created. The less developed countries in the early stage of development are not self-sufficient. So when they are going to moving from one stage to another of the stage, so it will never able to export, increasing their export. So it will always depending upon the another nations only. So income, savings and investment are absolutely low. So if any of the nations are not having the sufficient level of the savings and income or invest, these nations unable to increase their export. So they depend upon the developed countries for import of commodities, capital and technology. So there is some of the balance of payment disequilibrium will be arised. Next, consumerism. So consumerism also is one of the reasons for arising the balance of payment disequilibrium. The balance of payment position of a country is adversely affected by a huge increase to consumption. Even in the developing countries or the underdeveloped countries, there is no demand. The consumers or the public will want to consuming more commodities. So when they having the behavior, these nations will forced to import the countries from the another one of the nations. So the consumerism, the huge consumerism consumed by the consumer also one of the reasons to arising the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, demonstrations effect. Demonstrations effect mean the people one who is want to live like a another one's life. Now in developing countries, so many of the middle class peoples and the poor peoples also want to live their life like a another one's. For example, the Indian peoples want to live their life like a foreigners peoples. Those who commodities are used by the foreigners also want to use it by the developing countries peoples. When they are being like that, so the middle class peoples also will take more effort to consuming that commodities. So in this time, if any of the nations are not able to produce the demanded commodity, it have to import from another one of the nations. Next, borrowing. The international borrowing and investment may cause a deficit in the balance of payment. When the international borrowing is heavy, a country's balance of payment will be adverse since it repays loan the interest. So as we studied already, all the nations are having the power and the rights to borrowing the money and financial assist from the World Bank or the World Financial Organizations. So after borrowed the money within the particular time, it has to repay the money to the financial organizations along with the interest rate. So in this time, if it is not able to repay the money to the financial organizations, again it has to be need of borrowing the money from any one of the other financial organizations. So when they are borrowing more money, and if they are not able to repay the same money to the financial organizations, it has to be in the need of importing the commodities from another nations, and it will never increasing the power of export the commodities. So the balance of payment disequilibrium will be arised by over borrowings. Next, technological backwardness. The technological backwardness, the people are unable to use the energy available with them. So even some of the peoples or some of the nations are having some of the technological, they will never use the technological. And that backward technological also one of the reasons, because the developed nations will have the improved technological to produce any of the commodities, and because of that they will produce more commodities. And in the same time, some of the developing countries or the underdeveloped countries are unable to adapt the technologicals, and it will never increase the supply. Because of that, it has to be forced in the situation of importing the commodities from other nations. Next, global politics. So under the global politics, the rich countries need to sell their weapons to promote their economy and generate the employment. So hence the wars between countries are simulated in order to win the wars. For example, the America wants to generate the employment and sell their weapons to the developing nations. It will create and stimulate the war conditions or war situations with another two nations. So in these situations, any of the nations want to get the won to the war, and it will be import the weapons from weapon rich countries. So using their earnings and creating trade deficit. So because of that also, the balance of payment disequilibrium will be arise. So the 10 causes are there. So yesterday also I gave the same study portions. I believe you all studied. Next, measures to correct balance of payment disequilibrium. So the balance of payment disequilibrium will be affected the economy as harmers. So we must take in some of the effort to correcting the balance of payment disequilibrium. So this balance of payment disequilibrium measures broadly classified as two types. First one is automatic correction and deliberate measures. Under the automatic corrections, if the market forces of demand and supply are allowed to play freely, the equilibrium will be automatically restored in course of time. So normally we have studied the market forces, the demand and the supply. If you are allowed the demand and the supply as freely, automatically this market force will come to the will bring to the equilibrium. So under the free exchange rate system, the automatic adjustment of the balance of payment can take place through changes in the variables like price, interest, income and capital flows. So the price, interest, income and capital flows will changes the balance of payment disequilibrium. So under the automatic corrections, what are the measures are taken by the government mean? First one is price adjustment. As a result of foreign exchange outflow from a deficit country to a surplus country, there will be a fall in the money supply in the deficit country and increase in the money supply in the surplus countries. So when we are decreasing the price of a commodities in the deficit countries, balance of payment deficit countries are decreasing the price for their commodities, the another countries will come to our nations to export. Normally, if the price for commodity is very low, the demand will be increased, right? So like that, for example, in developing countries, in our price for the commodities in our countries is very low. Other countries also will want to export from our nations. So the price adjustment also will be one of the measures to correct the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, interest rate adjustment. The contraction or expansion of money supply resulting from the balance of payment deficit or surplus leads to a rise or fall in the interest rate. A rise in interest rate in the deficit country will encourage investors to withdraw their funds from abroad and invest their home countries. So normally, if the interest rate is increased by the bank, so the public will going to get the interest to deposit the bank. Like that, if the interest rates are increased in the deficit balance of payment countries, the other countries want to make the direct investment on our countries. So on the basis of rate of interest only, the foreign capitals or the foreign funds and the foreign direct investment will come into our nations. So because of that also the balance of payment will come to correct. Next, income adjustment. So a nation with the payment surplus will experience rising income which will increase imports and thereafter equilibrium is restored in balance of payment. So income of our nations are going to decrease. Our public also will reduce the purchasing power and the desire to getting the consumerism. The consumerism also will going to reduce and the purchasing power also will be reduced. So the demand for that commodities will be reduced. So if there is no demand for the domestic market, so we will relieve from the import from another nations. So in these situations, we can focus to increasing the export to the another one of the nations. Then automatically the balance of payment disequilibrium will be eliminated. Next, capital flows. The changes in the interest rate consequent to the balance of payment disequilibrium will encourage capital flows from the surplus nation to deficit nation, helping restoration of balance of payment equilibrium. The capital flows also will be come to our nations when we are reducing the interest rate. So changes in the interest rate also will encouraging the capital flows from the surplus balance of payment nations. So the four measures will automatically correct the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, deliberate measures by the manually or by the effort of the government or the Reserve Bank of India or the nations. If you are doing by deliberate, some of the measures are there. So under the deliberate measures also we can classify as a monetary measures and trade measures and miscellaneous measures. So under the monetary measures, the three measures are there to bringing the control in the balance of payment disequilibrium. Under monetary measures, first one of the measure is monetary contractions. The high domestic price level is responsible for high imports and low exports. In order to control inflation, the Central Monetary Authority controls credit. As a result, the prices come down and the export increases. So the governments are implementing the monetary measures or the monetary authority. So in order to controlling the inflation, the Central Monetary Authority controls the credit. So when we are controls the credit, the prices come down and export increases. So when we are bringing the credit as a control, the circulation of money will be less in our nations. So automatically the prices also will come down and export increases. If the prices come down, mean what will happen? So the peoples will want to purchase any of the commodities from our nations itself. So we can produce more commodities after fulfill the domestic demanded. So the surplus commodities also going to the export to another one of the nations. However, if credit is controlled, investment will decline, production will go down, so price will increase. So this is the cause for confusion between the government and Reserve Bank of India. So when we are bringing the monetary measures, so the credit will come to the control, but in the same time investment also will be less. So without increment or without high investment, we cannot increasing the supply of commodities. So first is the two types of the problem is there. When we are bringing the credit as the control, the circulation of money will come down and the poor peoples and the people also will less the purchasing power, and otherwise they will consuming any of the commodities in this domestic market. But in the same time, so the circulation of money and the supply of money also will decrease in the entrepreneurs or the production side also. So we cannot produce more supply. So if you want to bring the credit under the control, we have to taking the monetary measures, but this is also affect the investment level. So the government will confuse to bring the monetary measures. Next, devaluations. So devaluations means deliberately reduction of the official rate at which domestic currency is exchanged for another currencies. In other words, the devaluation refers to a reduction in the external value of the currency in the terms of other currencies. For instance, instead of 70 rupees per American dollar, making 80 rupees per American dollars. So normally the value of money, so normally for example, the value of money is 80 rupees. 80 rupees is equal to 1 American dollar means. So the Indian government deliberately will reduce the value of money from 80 rupees to 70 rupees. Now, if the American want to purchasing if the Indian peoples want to purchasing the $1, so we have to pay the 80 rupees. So first the 1 rupee is equal to 80 rupees. 1 rupees is equal to 70 rupees means after devaluation of the money, now $1 is equal to the 80 rupees. So in order to increasing the export, so all the nations will come to our nations. A country with fundamental disequilibrium in the balance of payments may devalue its currency in order to stimulate its export and discourage imports to correct the disequilibrium. The devaluation makes exports cheaper and import dearer. That means making Indian goods cheaper for foreigners and foreign goods costlier for Indians. So if you devalue the money, the foreigners can easily purchasing the Indian commodities because the price for that Indian commodities may be very low when we are compared to the exchange rate. So at the same time, the Indian people will never want to purchasing the foreigners good because the price for that foreigners good is may very high. So the devaluation also one of the measures to correcting the balance of payment rate. Next, exchange control. The exchange control means the state intervention in the forex market. It is a popular method employed to influence the balance of payment position of a country. Under the exchange control, the government or central bank assumes complete control over the foreign exchange reserves and earnings of the countries. So the Reserve Bank of India only will have the power to control the exchange rate. Now, by taking any of the measures, the Reserve Bank of India adopt the good exchange rate, or there is more barriers to exchanging the rate, we can bring the and we can correct the balance of payment disequilibrium. Next, trade measures. The trade measures include measures to promote exports and to reduce the imports. So under the trade measures, the two types of measures are there. One is the export promotion, next import control. The export may be encouraged by reducing or abolishing export duties. So when we are reducing the export, for the purpose of promote the export, we have to reducing or abolishing the export duties. The export may be encouraged by the reducing or abolishing the export duties. So the government can reduce or abolishing the export duties. Next, providing the export subsidy. So those who all entrepreneurs, those who all involved in this international trade and export, so the government must be providing some of the export subsidy. So all the people will come into the export trade. Next, encouraging export production by giving monetary or physical institutional incentives. So when we are giving some of the incentives to the promotional entrepreneurs or the export entrepreneurs, he will get more interest to increasing the export. Next, import control. When we are control the import, whatever we can do. So imports may be controlled by imposing or enhancing import duties. Suppose if the governments are increased the import duties, the importer will reduce the amount of import. Next, restricting imports through import quotas. So the import quotas also is there. Some of the amount will be reduced by the government. Suppose if any of the importers are importing 10 tons of commodity from another nation, it means the amount will be reduced by the government from 10 ton units to 5 ton units. Next, licensing and even prohibiting of import. For involving the import trade, some of the licenses are there. So the license also have to provide by the government. Suppose the government stopped to providing the license to started the import trade, so the import will come to the control. Next, some of the other measures also is there. By stopped or induced the other measures also, we can bring the balance of payment disequilibrium. First one is foreign loans. So if the governments are not ready or not get the interest to from the foreign financial organizations, or if they are not having the interest to borrowing the money from the foreign financial institutions, so the import will come to the control. Next, encouraging foreign investment. So many of the foreign directors will come to our nations to make the investment. Suppose if the governments are encouraging the foreign investment, that is the foreigners, so they will come to our nations and we will get the good investment. Next, development of tourism. Development of tourism means, so we have to attract the foreign tourists. So if we have the best and effective tourism situations and the tourism place, only the foreigners will come to our nations. So because of that nations also, we will get good foreign exchange. Next, import substitutions. So when we are providing some of the substitutions for the import goods, we have to produce some of the goods in our nation also. So the import also will get reduced. Okay students, if you have any doubt, please ask me. This miscellaneous messes also 4 or 5 messes are there. Just to take the automatic corrections and the correction of balance of payment disequilibrium as your study portions. Okay, thank you.